For Battle Brothers, a game about wandering a medieval fantasy wilderness and employing homeless people to stab bandits. As the head of your very own mercenary company, you, yes you, will have full responsibility of your battalion of mostly armoured murderers. You will decide who to recruit, how to equip them, and which contracts to take. Then you'll take control of them in tactical meat grinder combat and hope that you'll walk away from the blood-strewn battlefield with more coin in your purse than you went in with. Battle Brothers may not be the prettiest game in the world, your mercs look like an ugly gaggle of thumb-shaped weirdos, but don't let that put you off. There is a delicious tactical game here with a lovely dollop of management dressing. This game is turn-based strategy gold. Combat is the meat of the game. It's tough and bloody, but it is tasty. Now, I love me some XCOM and its tactical skirmishes, but Battle Brothers is very much its own beast. Two sets of warriors going toe-to-toe in brutal medieval combat where equipment and the formation of your troops is paramount. The sheer variety of weapons, each with their own specialist use, is fantastic. Swords are great against unarmoured foes, axes sunder shields, picks and hammers batter armour, flails are clumsy but can bypass shields entirely and strike the enemy in the face. Add to that a variety of pole arms, ranged weapons and two-handed armaments, and you have a delightful buffet of different flavoured murder to choose from. Your spearmen will be able to keep enemy units at a safe distance until your heavy axemen can come in and relieve them of their heads. You can even deploy hawks to scout the battlefield, and war dogs who excel at running down fleeing enemies. Do you try and plan for every eventuality, equipping your men with multiple weapon sets that you can alter on the fly? Or do you stick with some specialised units and let your positioning on the battlefield maximise their strengths and minimise their weaknesses? Little Steve and his meat cleaver probably won't do much against that plate armour though, so keep him out of stabbing range. It's not just your equipment that you have to contend with if battles go on for a number of turns, particularly if your guys are wearing heavy armour and swinging halberds. Fatigue becomes just as dangerous as an expert swordsman. If you're not careful, your warriors just become knackered, and then they become decapitated. The morale of your troops also plays a major part. Fresh recruits are susceptible to brown trousers moments at inopportune times, and when you're facing the spooky undead or savage orcs, everybody is susceptible to a little tickle of their fight or flight response. Fatigue, morale, the terrain, as well as your merc's gear helps make every decision in combat special. Every turn is precious, and you'd best make the most of them. Making the right decision at the right time can mean the difference between success or failure. Lots of battles run on a knife edge, and that also means that fights can snowball. Triggering a rout by slaying a couple of key opponents is incredibly satisfying, and conversely, it's also horrifying to watch your men getting pounded into dust after your sergeant's face redecorates your enemy's warhammer. Cutting your losses and fleeing from battle can be a smart thing to do. Sometimes it's best to leave Jeff and Brian behind for the good of the company. Your battle boys don't always meet with a grisly end though. Temporary and permanent injuries can be suffered.
'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off!
Giving your veterans a bit of character, some flaws, and also candidacy for early retirement. I really like the combat in Battle Brothers, but I also like the accounting. Now wait a minute, stay with me. It's not all marching and blood in Battle Brothers. You have to earn money the hard way and spend it incredibly wisely. If you don't balance your books and keep your caravan well stocked with food, medical supplies, tools, and actual cash to pay your soldiers, you're pretty screwed. Oh, and by the way, decent weapons and armour are bloody expensive, so you'll be used to seeing raw recruits taking to the battlefield wielding a pitchfork and not even wearing trousers. The great thing about this is that your decisions outside of combat are just as important and far-reaching as your decisions in the thick of battle. You'll think long and hard about buying extra food, medicine, or a shiny new axe for your best warrior. Don't scrimp too much though. You'll want your best men in decent gear, as good recruits are also expensive and you'll want to protect your investment. The cheaper alternative tends to be giving a beggar a spear and a helmet and hoping for the best. A mercenary's work is never done. You'll be hired by the local populace to track down thieves, bandits, eliminate local beasts and escort caravans. As your reputation grows, you'll be tasked with taking on more lucrative and therefore more dangerous jobs. cleansing an ancient burial ground of undead, or retrieving powerful artifacts. And depending on which endgame cataclysm you've chosen, you'll be the shield of men against the green-skin horde, or embroiled in a war between powerful, noble houses. On harder difficulties, these events can also completely wipe settlements off the map. War crimes are bad for business. Completing contracts earns your company renown. Complete several contracts for the same settlement, and you may receive better prices for merchants and access to more recruits. The settlements of your procedurally generated world may prosper based on your actions. Kill the direwolves that are harassing a village, and their recruitment pool will increase. Kill those bandits and more food will become available in the marketplace. You best make sure somebody's going to pay you first though. It's not wise for a freelancer to cheapen their profession.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
While Battle Brothers is a sandbox, as your reputation reaches certain milestones, you are given the choice of selecting a short-term goal for your company. This may involve raising cash for a cart to carry more equipment, a banner to inspire your men on the battlefield, or to raise your reputation with a number of settlements. This helps gently guide you towards a rough goal as you develop your mercenary company, and the decision is always multiple choice based on the suggestions of your more seasoned warriors. Leveling up your warriors can be a bit of a pain in the ass though, as it is possible to completely bog their training, and some perks are objectively better than others. If trial and error isn't your thing though, there are lots of guides on Steam and Reddit to help you build your perfect units and save your precious time. And speaking of things that are precious, you will get attached to your warriors. Once they've served your company for several battles, you'll no longer see them as thumb-shaped weirdos. They'll be your battle boys, your beautiful battalion, your brilliant bros. And when they inevitably get their heads caved in by a heavily armed bastard, you will feel it emotionally, not just financially. There is a lot of game here. The procedurally generated campaign map adds to replayability, and with several pieces of DLC available that add new beasts, new factions, new maps, equipment, and origin stories for your company, Battle Brothers becomes something of a time vampire. Be warned, you will spend a lot of time with this game if you let it get its hooks into you. Battle Brothers is tough and unforgiving, but if like me you love getting your teeth into satisfying tactical combat and love the idea of traipsing across a medieval fantasy world with a bunch of sellswords for coin and glory, then you should definitely take a look. Thank you very much for watching this video, it really means a lot to us. If you liked what you've seen here, click on that subscribe button and Dice Hard will bring you all sorts of lovely geekiness every week. Why not even pop over to our website at dicehard.net. And if you want other people to stumble across our channel, feel free to shove this video in front of their eyes at every opportunity. Tatty bye!